Okay, so that cliffhanger brings a lot of questions. Now, I've read the chapter quite a few times now since it's been out for like a day now, and I'm gonna say that my thoughts on this, I have a couple of theories. Number one, we need to look at what happened to Emma. Emma was snatched, obviously, and you see ropes come in, and they wrap around her arms, around her waist, and all that, and we know she blacked out or something and was dragged away. In this case, when you look at these ropes, you see this little object that's wrapped around at the end of the ropes, looking something like a boa. Resembles a boa in a sense. You know, a boa where you spin around them and you grab someone, like you wrap around their legs, you throw it a distance, wraps around their legs or arms, and they hit the ground, they can't move. That's kind of what that reminds me of. It reminds me of, like, boas and stuff, especially with what just happened to her. It's like a, you know, a net or something to catch someone. So in this case, when you look with what happened in this chapter, you could safely assume it might be the poachers, because when you think of poachers, you think of people that capture, you know, animals and then, you know, sell them for money. They get gain from it or whatever, and this is, you know, a real thing in real life. And so in this case, many might instantly assume what just happened to Emma is most likely poachers, but there is a lot of variables that could be happening here. Number one, when you look at the ropes and all that, it's very, very obvious that the person that attacked Emma, number one, they're intelligent, because it's ropes, and it has an object tied at the end of it, so it's an intelligent person. It's not like the demons we have been seeing in the recent chapters. They're not like the savage beast and all that. They, at the very least, whoever did this to Emma, they have intelligence, to, at the very least, make tools. Now, on top of that as well, they also didn't necessarily want to harm Emma, because if they wanted to harm her or kill her, they would have... She would never have woke up. That's the first thing. She would never have woke up, but on top of that, though, she would have been in a cage or something. She would have been in a cage, she would have been locked up or something. That wouldn't have, like, happened at the end of the chapter. She wouldn't be looking at this town or whatever. She would have already been locked up. So, what I'm getting at is, whoever just did this, either A, they actually truly wanted to save Emma. They wanted to get Emma out of there for whatever reason. Or, number two, what's going on here is that this is a big, elaborate play from the poachers. Now, let me get into some details. Now, when we look at this, okay, we could assume that this entire town we see at the end, the final page, it's a trap. Because from what we've seen from this series, everything we have seen from The Promised Neverland, anything that looks relatively nice or calm, there's something wrong with it. There's usually something wrong with it. And in this case, this entire town, it's just too good to be true, especially for this world. Because we know for a fact, Emma, she's in the demon world. She's not in the human world, and for what we know is there's like only a certain way to get out of it. So we know for a fact in that short span of time, just, you know, estimating how long she was probably unconscious, I would assume she was unconscious for maybe a couple hours at max, okay? Couple hours, maybe half a day. Let's just go with that for now. So she wasn't probably out long enough to be transported probably outside of the demon world. So that's not even a possibility. So let's not even think about that. So what's going on here? And it makes me wonder, why is there houses that resemble our architecture? Why is there houses that resemble what we build? And many might instantly assume that she might be back in a plantation, a farm or something. But I don't necessarily think that's the case. We really don't know a lot about this world. We don't know a lot about the world and how it really works. We don't know how the demon society really is. We don't know exactly what houses they live in. We just know how they are different shapes, how they get into different shapes. We now know about that and the reason for it because a couple chapters ago, but we don't really know how their politics are done, their society. We've heard about a little bit of the religion, which shows that they each have their own viewpoints on what they believe in, and so we know that there's not like all one entity. They're not all one collective mind, and so they all have their own opinions and viewpoints, and they're not just one central being. They're like humanity. They're very similar to humanity. So in turn, that would mean that there could be different countries, there could be different, you know, politics and different politicians and stuff having their own viewpoints competing with each other, like Republicans and Democrats, basically. That could be a big thing in this world. And in this case, from what we know, there's probably obviously people out there, a part of the demons and all that, that probably look at humans as something that needs to be protected or preserved. And so maybe what Emma is in right now is not in fact like something that's truly dangerous, but maybe she's in like a wildlife preserve or maybe like a zoo. I mean, think about it like this, okay? In this world, humanity is basically animals. They're just feed for the demons. And in this case, there's a lot of, people around in our world that have zoos that protect species, endangered species. And in this case, humanity is an endangered species in this world, because we know for a fact there's a very big lack of humanity or humans, because they're all either being processed for food or the only select few are in these little farms. So there's not really that many at all. And so maybe there is actual zoos that hold humans. And I've already discussed this a while back, about 10 chapters ago, that there could be also a possibility for humans being used as pets as well, and the demons could be viewing them like that. But that's an entirely separate conversation. But the big thing is that right now, with what happened to Emma, something makes me believe that these poachers are not necessarily, or whoever grabbed Emma, is not necessarily there to harm her, but maybe to protect her. In this case, maybe to put her in a zoo and make sure she's okay. And that could be what the entire zoo represents, or the place that she's in. It could be a zoo, and that's just there to protect her, the town and all of that. So anyways, getting off of that, this also could be her drugged up. I mean, who knows? Maybe Emma, had some mushrooms or something, and there she goes. She's seeing things. That's another possibility. Maybe she's just, drugged up, and that's why she's acting like she is. But, yeah, there's many things you could pull from this, but something is telling me that this is a zoo. I don't know. I'm just getting that impression that that's exactly what it is. And if not that, it's William Minerva. William is most likely, if it is, he might not actually be a human. He could possibly be a demon, and this could be a hunting ground. Because we do know that some demons like to hunt. They like the thrill of hunting. And so maybe they put Emma in, like, her natural environment or whatever, or how humans would be, and maybe they're wanting to hunt her. That could be another possibility. So I just wanted to throw it out there. That could be what's going on here. But like I said, I'm leaning more onto the fact that this could be a zoo. So, moving past that, let's talk about the man with no name. So the man with no name, it's very obvious now that he has forgotten his name, because we have glimpses into his past, probably the clearest glimpses into his past we've had yet, and we see that when someone tries to yell out his name, Lucas tries to yell out his name is, like, crossed out. It seems to me like either A, he doesn't want to, think about his name, or his name could be a potential spoiler in reference to another person that we know of, or C, most likely he has completely forgotten his name, because he just didn't care about it. He thought it was irrelevant, and he no longer even remembers it, since it's just been so long since anyone actually called him by his name, so he could have possibly have forgotten. That could be it. That could potentially be what's going on there. So, it seems to me like he has forgotten his name. That is very depressing in a way, because when a man loses his name, that's a very dark time. It's a very dark time. So, anyways, Emma, she starts off this chapter like, let's cut the crap, okay? I'm done. I'm done with us, playing mind games with each other. I'm done with us, tiptoeing around each other. I'm done with you trying to kill us. I'm done with us trying to outsmart you. Let's just sit down and talk. Seriously. I mean, we're both humans. We both live in a world that wants to kill us. Why can't we just work together? For obvious reasons. Why can't we work together? And so Emma is actually speaking a lot of facts. It does make a lot of sense. But even then, at the end of the day, humanity will be humanity, and we bicker over stupid things. And so that's just bound to happen. And so this entire situation is very real in a lot of ways. I mean, demons are not, and all that, what's going on here. But I mean, the situation is real, because humanity will always find something to bicker about. But in this case, though, Emma's like, let's cut the crap, let's stop with this, let's put aside our differences, let's get everything on the table, let's find out about each other for what we can understand and what we can work on. And so she confronts the man with no name about his problems. Now, what Emma says, like the first half of, the chapter, actually, majority of the chapter, is what many of us have already speculated. We've all pretty much already thought about this, of what most likely has happened to this man. There's been enough hints and all that to really get a good grasp on what is really going on with this man and why he acts like he does. And so Emma, in this case, she was basically us. She was us, the reader, kind of putting all our thoughts together and clarifying what most likely is going on. And the man with no name, he confirms that that is exactly the case. And the reason why he wants to get rid of Emma is because she is exactly like him. She is exactly like him. For instance, he used to be like her. He used to be very naive, and then he got crushed. His entire spirit got crushed, and he lost everything, which in turn is why he doesn't like the children, and why he doesn't like Emma, because he sees himself in her, and he is disgusted by it. He is disgusted by his own self. It's not the fact that he doesn't like Emma, he doesn't like himself. He legit does not like himself, which is why he doesn't like them. So that carries over. So very interesting details overall. It was very obvious, though, but very interesting details about the character and how, you know, he finally admitted what was really going on or what really happened to him. It's really cool. So I wonder if he will eventually have a change of heart and he will try to help out. Because, I mean, if Emma is in a zoo or something, or she's in a hunting ground, I feel like maybe the man with no name is going to try to save her. I feel like something like that is bound to happen. But that's about it. The chapter overall, it was a short chapter. It was pretty simplistic. I mean, it was just about the man with no name and all that, confronting things and stuff we already knew about, and the only really crazy moment was actually the cliffhanger when it came to the fact that, you know, Emma is now in, like, a town that resembles, you know, our type of towns. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you don't like this video, leave a dislike. So I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.